Hi, today we're going to be playing a game. We're going to be playing Flames of War, which is one of my favorite. Besides, I like Axis and Allies too. But this one is a scenario that was in one of the magazines, one of the war game magazines. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up in the back. And it's going to be a giant Kingtiger, or Königtiger, they called it, and 5 Sherman tanks. Now, normally you'd say, hey, that's not fair. I mean, a big tank, full, humongous, heavy tank against, a couple of medium tanks? Come on. But these medium tanks, according to the game scenario that I'm going to show you pretty soon, they all have the 76 millimeter anti-tank gun, which was actually pretty powerful. So, that's what's going to happen today. It's going to be a real quick game, not going to take much time at all. I'm going to be zooming in and showing you everything in pieces. My guess is that the American Shermans will win the game because the 76 millimeters, it's nothing to play around with, and it can't penetrate the front of a Kingtiger, but it can surely go in the side and the back. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this is my game table. It's my little European village, and we got the big King Königtiger right here, and they're going to be dueling it out against 5 Shermans. Now, the game didn't say to add any other pieces, but I added a couple of little tanks as fodder or as lookouts. So they're all going to be looking out for the Shermans entering the city. The way the game is supposed to play is that the Kingtiger is situated in a European city, and the Shermans are here to try to kick it out and kill it. It's just been sitting there for weeks, and the Allies want this beast gone. So supposedly it can go along the city streets. It normally will back up in the areas and try to fight. So I have it, you can put it anywhere. I can actually put it anywhere in the city I want to. It even can cross over the bridge and hide behind that big building over there. But I'm going to try to let the Shermans come in from 2 different directions, from that direction and from this direction over here to the right. And they'll cross the river. I should put this bridge back here so I can have a little passageway across. So although these little tiny armored vehicles and light tanks won't do anything to the Shermans, they could get a lucky shot and shoot the side and actually stop the Shermans from advancing, because they would be bailed out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this Kingtiger back where it was. It can back up, it can move over, it can do whatever it wants. It can also shoot very far. It can shoot, I believe it was 40 inches, while the Sherman can only shoot 32 inches. All right, let's get this going. I'm gonna do a movement for the American side. All right, I just shot the Americans, the Americans shot, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. And they shot this little tank here, but they weren't able to roll the dice high enough to enter and shoot anything. So they weren't close enough for the Tiger to shoot at. As they get closer, if I cross in front of the Tiger can get a free shot. But I'm not going to let that happen. I got 2 coming this way, and I got 1 or 2 coming straight on, and the other one's going to go around and flank. So I'm going to do 2 more movements unless there's a battle ensuing. Those 2 tanks rolled to go through the difficult terrain, and they both got stuck. So they're not going anywhere for a turn or more. This particular tank here was back here, shot at the one tank here. The other tank, before it left, shot at this one and it was destroyed. And this one here shot at that one just right now because I took 2 turns, and it blew up the other tank on that side. These 2 tanks rolled up. They're very close to the Kingtiger, but the radio communication said that do not attack the King at this moment. We're going to see what happens. I don't know where to put the King right now. I'm just going to pretend like the Kingtiger and its crew doesn't know exactly what to do right now. So I'm gonna wait. All right, this armored car harassed those tanks, didn't do anything. The tank shot at the armored car, didn't do anything. Over on this side though, those 2 tanks came up. They actually rolled above the morale and entered the tank, and then they crossed over the difficult terrain with a number greater than 3. And now they're sitting poised to attack this King, which is still waiting for something, maybe lunch. So this guy bailed because he was hit with a round by that fella there. So we'll see what happens up. I'm gonna do 1 more American turn and the German turn, see what happens. It's German turn, then American turn. The Kingtiger is trying to reposition itself. It went around instead of coming this way and getting in the way of the Americans. But the Americans did shoot at this little armored car. The armored car did fire, but it missed. It only rolled a 3 and a 4. The 4 wasn't good enough, but then the armor save from the Sherman tank was greater. And over here, the same thing. Those 2 tanks shot. The armored car shot. Didn't do anything. The armored car, basically, the shells just bounced off. So now the Americans' turn. Not sure how I'm going to do this. I got the other tank sitting back here. He's going to have to come out and find a place to shoot the King. This is going to be challenging, but I'm ready for this challenge. Alright, I moved those 2 tanks up. They both cleared the difficult terrain roll, and the first tank shot didn't score a hit. And then I moved this tank that was around this building over to there. He also shot. Because he's moving, he only gets a 5 or a 6 hits, and again didn't score a hit. This other tank I moved right to that position. Now it's German's turn. He's gonna do some killing. Alright, the German tank, he shot twice, and I forgot to take off the negative point for moving the turret, but regardless it was a 5, so one of the hits definitely would have scored, and the protective armor didn't save the Sherman, so it blew up. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot this tank, and I need to move this one in for a kill, and this one here back here needs to move, and it's stuck. So we'll see if he can get unstuck next turn. Alright, so that tank shot 2 6s, which is a great roll, and the Tiger, he had a 6 and a 2. The 2 is not good, and we go back, and the 2 represents the fail on that, so the Tiger bailed. Now this other Sherman shot with a 5. There was 2 shots, but one made it was a 5. The Tiger had a 4, and then the Sherman did a 5 for the firepower test, and that would have bailed the tank out again. So when you bail out again, it goes over, and now the Tiger has to have a 5 to bail back in. So let me just do the, and it's a 2. Unfortunately for the Germans, they stay bailed out. Now I'm going to reconfigure the American allies and see if they can kill this Tiger off. Here we go. This particular Sherman shot a 6 and a 4. Both were hits. But only one was under the armor, which was a 3. You got 8, 9, 10, 11. So that was definitely penetrated. But the armor, the fire test was only a 1. So again, the Tiger is going to bail. So he's getting scared like you wouldn't believe. This Sherman here shot twice, didn't do anything. That Sherman back there, which I just tried to move and get him to go back in a tank and get unstuck, and unfortunately he's still stuck. I'd like to get him around this side and shoot from this side of the corner. So pretty much the Germans are going to have a 6 to go back in their tank. But I might just do, if they roll a 5, then they can go back in their tank. So let's see if it's a 5 or a 6. It's a 4. They don't go back in. They are still probably hiding in this church here. Americans' turn again. Alright, this tank, he's a horrible shot. They must be green. They didn't do a darn thing. This tank back here rolled a 3 to get unstuck, still stuck, useless. This tank back here that's kind of hidden rolled a 5 and probably a 3 or 1, whatever it was. I got rid of it, so only 1 hit. He rolled a 3. His rear armor is only 8 plus the 3, it's 11. Firepower on this tank is 13 or 12. I believe it's 12. Regardless, that 5 kills it. This tank is history. It was a very quick game. It's a small scenario. It could have gone either way. Unfortunately, there just wasn't, just wasn't enough. So thanks for watching this. I thought it was pretty cool. If these were regular M4 Shermans with the 75mm gun, it would have taken a lot longer and possibly they all might have died. But it was a fun game. It was pretty cool watching this thing go. I've never played this scenario before, but as you can see, the Americans, I think they had the upper hand. No doubt in my mind. The gun is just too strong. To get a better playing game, you may want to use 5 Shermans with the 75mm, and that would be a lot more difficult to kill this Tiger. I can do a little test here to see if he shot twice. Let's say they both hit. This is the Germans. Here it is 3s. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. So both of those rolls would have been a miss instead of a hit with this particular tank. Anyways, that's it for this game. I'll have more games and more adventures. Just continue watching, check it out, leave me a message down below, and enjoy what I got coming up. Thanks.